The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is a simple book about love, talent, and ambition written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. In this book, the author tries to explore how these three different concepts intertwine in the life of the protagonist. So, at the beginning of the book, a small scale journalist called Monique Grant is told by her boss that the famous star Evelyn Hugo has personally requested Monique to interview her. So, after eventually meeting Evelyn, Monique realizes that she was not called to interview her but to author her biography. Um, During this part, we as well as Monique get really shocked, but our questions do not get answered till the end. And Evelyn's story begins from her life in Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of New York City to her journey to Hollywood with the help of her first husband Ernie Diaz. So she cleverly manipulates Ernie into marrying her so that she can go to Hollywood and avail all the opportunities available in Hollywood. So Evelyn Hugo eventually leaves Ernie Diaz after she reaches a level of stardom. But she does this to each of her husbands at some level or the other. But her pattern and her reasons of leaving them change. By change, I mean that she meets a fellow co-star, an actress called Celia St. James, and they both fall madly in love. And from that time onwards, whatever she does, whether she hides her relationship, whether she marries seven people or she does something else, she does it for hiding their relationship from public scrutiny. Bisexuality is one of the major themes of this book. So, the problem of queer people at that point of time was depicted through Celia's and Evelyn's agony of not being able to be together completely and to feel this pressure to hide themselves in the closet and not be themselves at all because of society. And one more thing that I found very interesting about Evelyn is how she distinguishes herself from being completely homosexual, as she argues with Monique many times that she was madly in love with Don Adler before falling in love with Celia St. James. Another important theme of this book is love. So, by love, I do not mean love between Celia and Evelyn. The love which has interested me more is the love between Harry Cameron, Evelyn's producer, and Evelyn Hugo. So Harry is the one who builds Evelyn's career, and he is there for her from the beginning, and she considers him to be his best friend, and they both share this deep, meaningful bond that Evelyn has with nobody else. Nobody understands Evelyn the way Harry does, and eventually Harry marries Evelyn so that they both can hide their relationships with their respective partners, as Harry was also homosexual. So the bond between Evelyn and Harry is proved by this point. So I will read it out. It was around that time that I started to believe that friendships could be written in stars. If there are all different types of soulmates, I told Harry one afternoon, when the two of us were sitting out on the patio with Connor, then you are one of mine. Evelyn loves him so much that she decides to have a child with them. So, Harry's death is one of the major turning points of this book, without which this book would have never happened. This story would have never happened. So, his death also tragically intersects with Monique's own life. So remorse is another important theme of this book. So this is the reason, remorse is the reason why Evelyn sits down to tell her story, why she decides to tell everything candidly, so that she could, correct all her mistakes. Maybe she would not be able to regain the moments that she could have spent, the time she could have spent with Celia, but she can do justice to Celia by revealing their relationship frankly, at least at this point of time, because that is what Celia wanted the most. And also she can feel sorry, she can feel forgiven, by everybody she has hurt. So this is the reason why Evelyn sits down to tell her story, because she is remorseful. I did not find the writing style of this book quite interesting because it was plot driven and basic. It was not character oriented. Though the author built these characters which were complex in nature, which had many traits and qualities, she did not properly address the complexity of their nature. But she did involve a major plot twist which interested me so much. I was not at all able to guess what could have happened till the end. So that was one of the major reasons why I like this book, because we cannot expect that the story would turn out in that way. Overall, this was a book which I thoroughly enjoyed, and this is a type of book which anybody can read. I mean, readers who are just beginning or readers who have read a lot, because this is such a page turner that we won't be able to stop anywhere, and it is, I must say, an enthralling read. So thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year.